Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today I've got something a bit different for you. Today I'm going to be talking about a particular person and the lovely books that this gentleman has wrote. But before I do that, Chris Scullion is a guy that I have followed since my days of reading official Nintendo magazine. If you're young enough, or old enough I guess, to remember that. It was a magazine that used to come out in the UK. I used to really love it. Used to get it every month, then got onto the website, got involved with stuff on there, and essentially ever since then I've kind of been following Chris loosely over the years of what he's gotten up to and what he's doing. Now he is he's from Scotland and has been doing games journalism for years, and he's worked for various different websites as well as obviously the official Nintendo magazine and all that. And now I believe he works for, I think it's VGC, does that, and has his own website. I'll make sure I link all this stuff down below in the description so you guys can go and follow him. But honestly, I've loved reading his reviews in the past. He seems like a really down-to-earth guy. Now, I'm very late to doing this video, right? I messaged him, I think, November time, just to say, hey, I want to talk about your books. Your books are great. And he's like, yeah, go for it. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm not going to go through each and every single page of these books. I obviously, he's trying to make money off them. But I wanted to just talk about how much I really appreciate having this material. So just for context's sake, I got the first two. So this is the first one I got, which is the Nintendo Entertainment System here. It's unofficial. Obviously, it's not done by Nintendo, but it's the NES Encyclopedia, every game released for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And obviously down here, I think it says unofficial guide. Yeah. Now what's really cool is that the first two books, I got this one. I made the mistake of not getting these in hardback. I got all the others in hardback, and this is also the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and also includes the Virtual Boy as well, which is really cool. So those are the first two I got ages ago. Now, I've read mostly through these, because obviously they're encyclopedia. What I really like about these books is being able to be like, I remember a game or something, let me go just quickly check it up, and I can find it in here pretty much, and essentially just be like, okay, quick reminder of what it is, what it's called, some facts about it, and we'll go into that in a minute. But what's also cool about these books as well is that in the back of this one, I think it has unlicensed Nintendo games, so it's even covered that stuff. Obviously with the SNES one there, you can see that it's got the Virtual Boy in it, and then after that, I pretty much only bought the hardbacks. Now here's a funny thing. I believe the next books I bought were the N64 Encyclopedia. I'm about to drop one on the floor. This is obviously a hardback now. Oh yeah, I should show you the back. The back's great as well. It has all the images from the games and whatnot. And you've got information about that, and then a bit about Chris as well. But this one also includes the Japanese 64 DD games, which is awesome. But I also bought this at the same time. This is the second Mega Drive one. I have only just in the last month unwrapped this. I completely forgot I had it. But this one is also cool. Includes the Mega CD and 32X games. These books are lovely, and I wish I'd gotten the SNES and the NES one in hardback. I'm probably not going to rebuy them because I've obviously got them. I don't want to be that kind of person that's got it, but I honestly love it. And then the last two that I got for Christmas, and that's partly why this video is taking so long, is that I also got for Christmas the Dreamcast one, which is this one I was very excited about because I have a lot of really random games on Dreamcast, so it was cool to see that. And then I also got this awesome Game Boy one, and now it's a bit fuzzy on the screen there because of the way my camera's set up and stuff, but these are great. Now, what's really cool about them, if we just grab the NES one, because that's obviously the first one I've got, what's really cool, I'm just going to flick to a random page, is the books are laid out like this. So you can see that each game is on there has a bit about them, which regions they released there, each one has a fact. So if we just go to there's Donkey Kong Classics here. Now I do apologise, I'm sitting in the dark a little bit, but for example, you have the areas it's released in, the year it's released, publisher, developer, all that, right? And then a fact would be something along the lines of Saturday Supercade, a cartoon show that ran in the US in 1983 to 84, included a bunch of short animated segments based on arcade games. These included Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. So what's really cool is that every single one of these games in here has a fact about it that isn't necessarily part of the main paragraph. Now, with some games in here, if for example, perfect. Some games got a bigger section. So you can see that Castlevania, massively influential game on the NES, and there's games like that, like Super Mario, stuff like all the games, Zelda, all those sort of games those games got a bigger spread, have more information about them, and all that kind of stuff. So you really get, like, every game, you learn something, you gain some kind of quirky fact for the most part. But the big games like that you can think of, like a Sonic the Hedgehog, a Castlevania, a Mario, those games, they get like a page, some that even get more than that. I believe Super Mario Bros. 3 in here has a fairly big amount to it. But what's really cool is also in these books is that you have, there's just stuff you can find out here from, like, you know, there's the foreword from various different people that he knows in his life, introductions to that, the history of the NES at the beginning of this one, a bunch of like old classic like adverts and stuff on the screens. I'll show you that bit actually, like old images and things, and that's what makes these books so cool. Like I said, they're very, and this is this one here says like the licensed games and has like a picture of all in there. Each individual book, like I have every single system you see here I have owned, right? So I have, even though I didn't have that many games for the NES, I played a lot of games for the NES. The Super Nintendo, on the other hand, this is the console that really got my gaming stuff started. So, like, let's find something fun in here just to show off. Because the thing is, there are so many games on these systems. That's what's crazy about it. And I can't even begin to imagine what it was like for Chris to write all this stuff, you know. So there's a cool one there. We've got FIFA International Soccer, because that was massive back in the day. And then a bunch of Fatal Furies on the left-hand side, or might be the right there. Like, awesome stuff. Like, if I was to go to Donkey Kong in here, if I look for that, you'll find that Donkey Kong will have probably a big old spread. Where are you, Donkey Kong? But ultimately, like, I've really enjoyed there we go, look. One of my favourite games of all time, Donkey Kong Country. I really, really appreciate that not only am I learning something from this, but it is like, I've got, if I ever need to check something, it's all here. And in the back of this one, I believe it's the Virtual Boy games. Oh, look at that, it's under Virtual Boy Wario Land, like probably one of the better ones on the system. So you're not only are you getting SNES, you're getting Virtual Boy and all the games for that. You know, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go through every single thing, because ultimately, you know, I'll sit here and show it. But the reason I'm talking about these books is because they've become such a good resource for me. Like, this is a perfect example. I don't have a lot of N64 knowledge. Like, I didn't get an N64 until much later. There are games that I really like on the N64, like Command & Conquer 64, Turok 2, things like that. Whereas, like, you know, obviously people think of GoldenEye, Mario Kart, Mario 64, Legend of Zelda. But having this means that I can go away now and actually make some informed purchases, because I can do a little bit of reading on it and look at these games. Like, for example, I want to get a physical copy of Turok 2 and Turok 3, and, you know, that's what's really cool about it. Like, we've got 1080 snowboarding here. The fact that this also includes the 64DD games and things like that as well, like, it's just nice having everything in one place. And each one of these books, and I will say the hardbacks are like this, I know they're more expensive. If this is something you're interested in, just invest in this. I'm not trying to shill for it. I just really like the hardbacks here. Like, honestly, they're so good. This one's really cool because I had a lot of Game Boy games, and look at the thickness on that. Like, it is, you can see as well, probably there, that the color changes. And I believe that's where it goes from Game Boy to Game Boy Color. Let's just check. I think so. Yeah. So you get the book split perfectly. Is there when you want to look? I just love, like, the images and the information on the back. Like, it's so nice to have something that's, you know, the thing as well is from following Chris and seeing what he's done over the years, like, you know that you're gonna get something that's, like, well written and also, like, just informational, and that's what I really like about it. Now, the Dreamcast book, there is a specific game I want to find in here, because growing up I had a Dreamcast, and I probably shouldn't admit this, but back in the day we had like it's very easy to hack the thing, essentially, like put in the loader and load games like that. And what was really cool about it was that I ended up playing a ton of games that I'd never heard of. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, just for like one of the best games on Dreamcast. I love Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. The whole spread of that, like, you're getting just a ton of, and this also shows as well. This one has like the Europe, America, and Japan and stuff. But there is a specific game, if I can find. Just having a think. It's just it's weird looking at Dreamcast games, because I remember these games. I think, oh, no one ever played this stuff. And of course, people did play this stuff, but it was just like, it's bizarre going back to it. There are so many games on the Dreamcast that start with S. Who'd have thought it? Right, we're getting very close to what I want. Also, Ready to Rumble, great game. Where are you? Oh, I've missed it. We will get there, I promise. But the reason I want to... here it is. So, there's a little game. I believe it's by Argonaut. Yep. A little game here. Oop. Try not to break it. There. Red Dog Superior Firepower. I loved that game as a kid. And it's amazing. Like, that's a game that probably... I don't know how well it did. I don't know how well it sold. It's essentially a vehicle, like, Jeep buggy combat game. And then the single player, you, like, fight aliens and stuff. The music's really good. The multiplayer is fantastic. And, you know, maybe that's nostalgia bias being like it's such a great game. But to see this game, like, even acknowledged in some form, to me is like really special because I loved it. Like, you know, and I think that's the thing with the Dreamcast was that I played a ton of Dreamcast games, stuff I'd never heard of. Like, I didn't know until I was much older, I didn't know if anyone had heard of Techromancer, and that was a sequel to another Capcom fighting game. It's where Power Stone was on this. You know, there's a ton of things, and I honestly think a lot of people that have nostalgia for various different consoles, I mean, even this one, you can tell, like, you know how shiny this is. You know, you can even tell that I think, like, anybody that's just got any kind of nostalgia for a certain system, you're going to get something out of these books, you know? And I just kind of wanted to come on here and sort of talk about it, and I want to just, you know, yeah, I believe Chris is planning on doing other ones. I can't remember what he said. I think he might be doing a PlayStation one, which is going to be nuts for him. But, like, you know, just... I'm very impressed with these as a tool to have the knowledge and be able to sit through there and flick through there, and I'm learning something and I'm gaining something and I'm having nostalgic moments, and I feel like it's well written, and just genuinely really appreciate that this thing exists. There are obviously other people out there, like other journalists and other people that do write stuff, and, you know, I have a little bit of bias because, again, I used to read Chris's reviews in Official Nintendo Magazine. But personally, I really appreciate what we're getting. Like, I think the books themselves are really lovely. I think the way that they're laid out is very concise, it's very clear. And ultimately, like, even if you didn't want to do what I do and have most of them, I believe Chris has other books as well, but these are the ones that I own. I really, really like having them, and I really like going through them. And, you know, I haven't completely read everything in these, but I've read a good chunk of each one, and I just think they're really good. So... yeah, it's a bit of a weird video, a bit of a fanboy video maybe today, but if you're interested in any of this stuff, I'm going to put links down below in the description so that you guys can either go and check out Chris's, he's got a website called Tired Old Hack. He's there are links on Amazon, so maybe if I can find a page for there, I'll put that down there as well. And just stuff for these books and for him. Yeah, he's just done a really awesome job, and he seems like a decent bloke, and I hope that, like, you know, he sees this video and just appreciates the fact that I think he's been doing a great job all these years. And, you know, I don't envy him for writing these books because they seem like that's a lot of effort that goes into it. But yeah, there you go. That's the like unofficial encyclopedia books for these various systems. So that's going to do it for me today then, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.